Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today we're reviewing Falcon and the Winter Soldier episodes 5 and 6 from Disney+. I am going to be discussing spoilers, so if you have not caught up with the show, please step away now. If you've watched it or you don't care, then hang around. So diving straight into episode 5, this one disappointed me majoritively. I thought it was just a bit aimless. The whole scenario with Zemo is just wrapped up quite conveniently. John Walker's big issue that was such a revelation earlier in the season just sort of wrapped up and dealt with quite conveniently again. You're told Isaiah Bradley's backstory rather than shown it, and as nice and good as that scene was, hearing that story and the acting was really good, it's just dialogue. I would have had such a bigger impact had I actually seen a young Isaiah Bradley go through what he went through. Just being told it's like hearing the footnotes of something really important. And then after that, there's a load of boat fixing. I mean, that really is the plot summary of episode 5. It doesn't seem to have an aim, it just sort of does stuff. I didn't really need it, and when it did the stuff that I wanted it to, it disappointed me. I thought Zemo was going to have a lot more playtime here. I can forgive what they did with Walker simply because I think that one did make sense in the end and it did work ultimately. But the Isaiah Bradley stuff, as much as I really did enjoy that, and I think that's probably one of the best parts of this show, I'm gutted that we didn't see it. That really does annoy me. But there are still some pros. The chemistry between Bucky and Sam is still there and still growing. I think this is the episode where they really do just put their differences aside and say, look, we're all right, we're mates. No, I quite like that there, and you feel that bond has deepened because they were always quite chummy and did have chemistry. At this point, it's beyond the bickering and the outdoing each other. They genuinely feel like they have each other's back, and that was nice. And just while we're on the subject of it, I think the star of this season actually is Anthony Mackie as the Falcon, because prior to this season, he was given the shield by Captain America as if to say, it's yours, you're now Captain America. And he clearly had doubts of that, and I think the general public as an audience, we were, generally speaking, I think we were on board with it. We're like, yeah, that's fine, I'm cool to see Sam be Captain America. And then for him to give the shield away at the start of this show, I think a lot of audience members were like, not sure about that. But I think it does work because it's the journey he takes within himself. The Sam that you see in the first episode compared to the Sam in the last episode, same human being, totally different person. He has evolved, he has grown, and he has stepped up to the mantle of being Captain America, that better than the best idealism that Captain America is meant to be. He does that, and I thought it was really well done, not only by the writing, but by the performance of Anthony Mackie himself. He deserves a lot of credit for his role in this. So I'm going to give episode 5 a 7 out of 10. Just a little lackluster for a penultimate episode. It didn't seem to sort of be in a rush to get anything done. It actually left me a little concerned that the finale wasn't going to be great. So diving into the finale, episode 6, it was a little bit what I expected, big fist fights and final showdown type of thing, and sadly I didn't really care, if I'm being brutally honest. I didn't care about GSP's character, Batroc the Leaper. I didn't care. I thought it was nice seeing him come back in like the first couple of episodes of this, but I didn't need him back again. Sharon Carter as the Power Broker. I mean, the reason I didn't mention it prior is, who else was it going to be? It's the world's worst whodunit. It's imagine watching a whodunit when there's only one suspect. Chances are it's going to be that suspect, or they're going to bring in a character that doesn't make sense with everything else you've been shown. So yeah, I thought honestly, Power Broker stuff, I honestly would have left it out. I wouldn't have bothered with any of that. Or realistically, I don't even know if I'd have kept Sharon Carter around much longer than just like a 1-episode thing. Carly falls apart at the seams a little bit, although she already was. I did think there was some potential, but they just sort of snuff it out and say, we're not doing this anymore. And then when you finish the series and you look back at it, you have to take it for what you were given, and it's poor. Frankly, the whole Flag Smashers storyline, the leader, the acting, the writing for them, the dialogue, all of it was pretty bloody awful, and I want to forget it. I want to forget that Marvel did this. It's not their normal quality. I'm a little, a lot of people really like Falcon's new suit, and yeah, it's comic accurate, and yeah, it's nice, but I don't know what it is, but the ears are really, I don't know, every time I see that bit with the ears, I'm just, it throws me off, and maybe I'm just being weird, but it is, I think actually as a suit looks great, but it is this bit with the ears poking out, just, I don't know. If it was my suit, I'd put some flaps over that. Like, just tuck them in, Like, each to their own. If you like it, you like it. I'm not against you there. I thought John Walker's sort of redemption arc was actually really well done as well. He's been a really complicated character in this show, and I really like that about him. You don't know where you stand with him, and you don't know what you're going to get from him, when he could be a character that could just be totally atypical. He's just going to go crazy, because that's what he does. I like that they hold that back a little bit, just enough to leave you with unease as to if he's going to offer you a handshake or literally snap your spine in half. Like, you don't know with this guy, and I love that about him. And I mean, I just want to say as well, sort of stepping away from the show, the actor Wyatt Russell, he has, I think a lot of the fan base has sort of given him some stick and abuse. Don't do that. That's ridiculous. His character is clearly meant to be this way. If you hate him, it means he's a fantastic actor, because that's exactly how you're meant to feel about the US agent. He's not doing this just to piss you off. It's literally what's meant to happen, and he's really good at it. And I want to see him come back. I was a little bit confused. I know a little bit about comic book history. Maybe someone can clarify. I didn't know who the lady was. I think she's Madam Hydra, but I'm not sure because I didn't recognise the actual given name. But I can only assume with US Agent and Hydra didn't really sort of rear its head here, although Hydra is very intrinsically attached to Captain America. I think that's what they're doing there, and maybe the US Agent is going to become part of like the evil Avengers. Zemo's back at the raft, and I've heard some people suggest that that's going to lead towards the Thunderbolts. I'm not quite so sold on that idea just yet. Maybe that's because I wasn't actually that keen on the Thunderbolts as a comic myself, but each to their own. I'd still give it a chance if it did go down that route. But I think they did a really good job of leaving the loose ends that they do leave behind are the ones that you're intrigued by. They're not the ones that you wanted an answer for right now. They're the ones where you're like, oh, where's that going? And that's a really good thing that they did. But I have to admit that I thought it was quite a generic episode for a finale. It did feel a little bit beat for beat what any old show would do. There's a good speech by Sam at the end. It's a little bit hypocritical and doesn't entirely make the point. He's sort of suggesting that it's labels that put people in these positions where they don't question things. Like if someone is called a terrorist, you just, oh, bad guy then. But, a terrorist could potentially be another man's saviour. I don't know about that conversation. I get what he's trying to say, but I don't think he says it quite as eloquently and perfectly as he could have done. I think it's a little bit muddy. Carly Morgenthau was a terrorist. Let's not fuck around here. She blew up buildings with living innocent people in it. She was a terrorist. We're not playing that game. I appreciate the incentive, but it didn't work. And I thought the ending with Isaiah Bradley being shown his memorial at the museum was also a lovely touch, and that was really nice. A lovely sort of finishing point, so to speak. It still sort of actually solidifies my point earlier that I could have absolutely, I just chopped my arm off to see a flashback of Isaiah Bradley being, the Captain America that we were told about. I would have loved to see that, and maybe we will in the future, but I think that if this show did that, I probably would be looking at a 9 out of 10, a 10 out of 10. I really would. When you're going through it week to week, you're curious and you're, what about this? What about that? And it's very fun and exciting. But when you get to the end and then you look back, it can be, why did we make these decisions? Why did we spend so much time with Zemo when actually ultimately that was not the bulk of what we were doing here by any means? Were the Flag Smashers at all relevant, really? Could they have been better? Could they have been less important? Could we have looked at John Walker more? I'm going to give Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 6 an 8 out of 10. And as a series, I'm going to give Falcon and the Winter Soldier an 8 out of 10. It was enjoyable. It was good. When it hits the right notes, it really hits the right notes. But it does hit a lot of dead notes as well in between. I think you should check it out. I think you'll like it. Even if you're not crazy about Marvel, maybe you're going to be a little bit confused about who people are. But it's a simple enough follow, and it's certainly entertaining. Thanks for watching this review. If you could leave a like, comment and subscribe. Let me know what you thought of the show in the comment section down below. I look forward to seeing you on the next one.